Hello guys, Shrish here. So this is the Poco X2 and as you guys probably know that this phone comes with the latest Sony IMX686 primary camera sensor, and I wanted to test this sensor in depth, or rather the entire camera setup of the Poco X2 in depth, not by myself, but I wanted someone who has some serious knowledge about photography to test it. So that's what I did. I asked my friend Vishwatej, who is a photographer and also has a page by the name of Aperture on Instagram. So basically he has a lot of experience in photography, and not just that, he is actually surrounded with a lot of professional photographers who are like really big when it comes to Instagram game as well. So I'll make sure to leave his Instagram page in the description box below. If you do like his content or if you do appreciate his work, be sure to give him a follow, be sure to like his posts, be sure to say hi to him if you want to talk a little bit about photography with him. And yeah, without any further ado, let's get into this. So we went out on a spin at the Worli Sea Link in Mumbai, and I handed him the Poco X2 to just see what he thinks about the cameras on the phone. So here's what he thinks. Obviously he couldn't voice over this video, or we couldn't shoot the entire video together outdoors because it was so difficult, and there were a lot of factors, which is why I'm voicing over this video. But the script that I have prepared for this video has undergone his points that he gave me. So this is just whatever he wanted to speak in just my voice. So the first off, the best part we found was the ability to capture raw images under the pro mode or manual mode. And not just that, but with the wide angle lens as well, you can capture images in raw format, which honestly is a big deal because we don't really see it that often in the budget segment. I mean, there are very limited phones in the budget segment under 20,000 which offer the ability to capture raw images. So we did capture some raw images, and here's how they look before editing. Pretty plain, pretty colorless, pretty lifeless, but here's how they look after editing. And obviously we did click some normal pictures in the auto mode as well, and here's how they turned out. Now the pictures have insane amount of details even at 16 megapixels. The color scheme, most importantly, is spot on, unlike Realme phones where the colors are literally overly saturated, and in some situations the colors kind of change when it comes to post-processing in Realme devices. But clearly that is not the issue with the Poco X2. It just literally shows you the colors that are actually present, and which is something that I really appreciate. Even the details in the images captured using the auto mode are actually great. And the details overall are clearly better than what we see in phones having the Samsung GW1 sensor, for example, the Realme XT, Realme X2, Realme X2 Pro, Redmi Note 8 Pro. Now one issue that we found was that sometimes in 64 megapixel mode, the shutter speed is a little bit too much, which kind of results in this weird shots which might look a little bit distorted or wavy. But I think this is kind of a combination of the smartphone stock camera application lag and a little bit of too slow shutter speed. But nevertheless, this doesn't always happen. This happens in some situations. So yeah, Poco definitely needs to fix this up. Apart from that, you can see some sort of occasional lag when it comes to 64 megapixel shots, but that is something that you can expect in almost every budget phone, so I'm not really complaining about that. Also, the wide angle lens quality here is incredible, actually better than most phones. The details that you see in these pictures captured from the wide angle lens of the Poco X2 are pretty amazing. And remember when I said that you can use RAW in wide angle lens as well? Well, using that you can actually extend the overall image quality even further. Now speaking about dynamic range, the dynamic range turned out pretty damn good. The overall exposure in most cases was balanced. I mean, we never saw any sort of picture that was kind of overexposed or underexposed in any scenarios. So overall, the stock camera application does a fairly good job when messing around with the available light. The limit for burst or continuous shots is 100, which again is great. And again, while using or while clicking these burst or continuous shots, we never really saw a loss of serious quality or serious details in the images. So yeah, the quality of images captured using the continuous shot features is actually pretty good, and we did grab some serious images or serious frames from these continuous shots. The white balance as well is pretty accurate, and we didn't really encounter a case where we kind of had to fix it in post. The 2x zoom obviously isn't that impressive at all, and you won't really like it. There is a clear lack of details over here. But that's kind of understandable because this is digital and not something that's sensor based. And one issue that we found under portrait mode was that the image over sharpens quite a lot, to an extent where the image might look a little bit odd even to normal users who are not really into photography or who are not really that much tech savvy. Maybe Poco will optimize the quality of portrait mode in coming future, and we are pretty positive about that. We also did test the video capabilities of the phone or the camera at 4K 30 FPS using a gimbal, and the footage was just mind-blowing. The exposure adjustment, is fluid, the bitrate seems high, and the video overall looks pretty sharp. In bright daylight, the video footage at 1080p 30 fps is pretty stable, but in low lighting scenarios, obviously you can clearly see some sort of jitters. So you need to keep that in mind if you are going to shoot videos during night times. So if I have to sum this entire video, then the Poco X2 has got a camera sensor which is absolutely insane. The stock camera application does a good job as well when it comes to post-processing and optimizations, but there are some clear issues which I think Poco can fix and Poco will fix probably. But as far as the basics go, like color scheme, details and dynamic range or exposure, then Poco has done some phenomenal job at this. Not to mention that the sensor is fairly new, and this was kind of a very ballsy move by Poco coming out with this sensor, because no one has literally tried the sensor before. So yeah, kudos to Poco for that. And yeah, that's it for this video. Be sure to check out Aputure's Instagram page. Again, a huge thanks to him. This video wouldn't have been possible without his help. So if this video helped you in some way or the other, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.